What is up, y'all? This is Blizz, and across the desk from me is Big, and you're now rocking with the Big and Blizz podcast. Today is episode 3, and go ahead, Big, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I mean, I know we've all heard Tebow coming back for tight end.
Oh, good.
And then you got people like Greg McElroy, played with him in New York when he played for the Jets, and he's was part of that quarterback room, and he says it's just a sideshow. He thinks Jacksonville is just doing it to bring in some money.
I agree. Well, and then is it Nick Saban is the new head coach?
Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer. I get those two mixed up.
Yeah, Urban Meyer is Tebow's old Florida head coach.
And that's the thing, when you have somebody in a position of power, you know, it's not what you know most time, it's who you know. And this is, I mean, you can completely put that on this situation because Tebow's never played tight end as far as I'm aware, so it's not what he knows.
No, and the crazy thing I still think is he spent years arguing how he wasn't going to switch positions because Denver asked him to switch to safety, to switch to tight end, to switch to even running back at one point.
Well, and
he was just like, no, I'm a quarterback through and through, whoop-de-wop.
And I get that. But I thought I heard a rumor about that he could have been drafted even higher, but the team that wanted to draft him wanted him to come on as a tight end, and he refused to.
So there were some rumors that I can't remember the team, but there was a team, like, because they do interviews with rookies and stuff before to see where their head's at and stuff like that. There was a team higher in the draft that had asked him his feelings on switching positions, whether it was to tight end or safety or whatever, and he was a hard no.
Yeah, and most quarterbacks are like that. Once you're a quarterback for life. A lot of times,
oh,
not all
yeah.
the time. Because Edelman was a high school quarterback. Didn't he play quarterback in college also?
Yeah, he played for Kent State, I believe was his alma mater for college. And yeah, they asked him. But Julian Edelman is a different beast.
100%. You know, that's crazy. I mean, he's won Super Bowl MVP on wide receiver. He's a great slot receiver.
Just a worker.
No fear to come across the middle and get stuck every play when you touch the ball.
And that's part of the thing. So there's some Hall of Fame tight ends that are speaking out.
Oh yeah. So
Kellen Winslow as one of them.
Senior, because junior's in prison.
Senior. He said, and I quote, "The route running, I think he'll pick up rather quickly.
Absolutely.
The catching will be second nature because he's an athlete. It's going to be the physical side of being a tight end, blocking, getting hit, getting roughed up, that he doesn't think Tebow's going to be able to handle."
Well, think about this. He's basically, if you think about it, he's restarting an NFL career after 8 years. He's 33 years old.
33.
You know, I was watching a YouTube video, sports YouTube, and it was something with ESPN. They were saying something about he hasn't played, and they gave the number. It was over 1,000 games since he last played. The
thing I saw, I thought it was like 3,000 and something days.
Since
his last NFL game.
That's what it was.
It was like just over 3,000 days. The crazy thing is, we're saying we're both. And I think it's a money grab for Jacksonville. Bring him in, sell some jerseys, have some fun with it. I don't know if he'll make it out of training camp, whatever.
No way.
Let him. I mean, he hasn't made it out of training camp the last 2 teams he was on.
Even with baseball.
But the thing is, Urban Meyer didn't even go to his first 2 workouts. And so, because he wasn't able to, or for whatever reason, he didn't even, the first 2 times he worked out for Jacksonville, Urban Meyer wasn't even there.
And what's annoying about that also is Urban Meyer is the one who obviously got Tebow in the door, but Jacksonville had the first overall pick and picked Trevor Lawrence, who's an amazing athlete. Like they're saying that he's I don't know, he's revolutionizing that position. The focus should be about him. Everything should be about him right now, because if you think about it, Jacksonville, that's what they have. But so they're taking the attention away from their first pick. Who it's supposed to be about him, you know? Like, I just don't like that. And he's not going to make it on training camp, which means it's filling up a spot on the roster and taking away from another young athlete who could be out there proving themselves to make that team. But you just X'd out one guy for sure from the jump, knowing that Tebow's not making it past training camp.
So 2 things. One, maybe they're pulling Tebow in to try to lighten the spotlight on Lawrence.
But I don't think he needs it lightened. He's always been good.
I know, but you know how teams think.
True.
You know, they think in these really mystical ways and whatever. But the second thing I was going to say is he's 33. The scouts, when they watched him work out both times, said that he is in better shape than most 18-year-olds.
Oh, wow.
Which could be fluff. It could be smoke up the ass. Could be whatever. But for them to come to Urban and say, hey, bro, you need to come to his workout because this guy is in the best shape of his life.
Yeah.
At 33 years old, that's hard.
Yeah. Well, not only that, winning the Heisman Trophy and back-to-back national championships with a powerhouse like Florida, and he's in best shape now?
Yeah.
That's crazy because he was a monster in college. It just didn't...
He just has that winning mentality.
Yeah, it just didn't... what's the word I'm looking for? It didn't...
translate.
Yeah, translate to the NFL. I mean, you being a Broncos fan, you know more about him than a lot, but we've talked about this a million times about how good he went 8-6 over 3 seasons, I believe, right?
So, I think we said this in episode 1. He was a winner. It just was ugly every time.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
did.
It was ugly. And that's just, ugly doesn't translate.
Yeah, which is dumb. A win is a win, you know?
And that's the thing. And so, Mike Ditka, who also, Hall of Fame coach.
Wasn't he a tight end?
He was a tight end. So he's one of the other guys that spoke out.
Against or for?
Ditka actually stated that if he was in Urban Meyer's position, he would 100% sign Tebow.
Wow.
100%.
That's a bold statement.
And then he had this to say. He said, the physicality of it all, if you're a tight end and I don't think you're physical, I'm going to try to beat the heck out of you.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
That's just what linebackers will do, and that's what they think. So if he doesn't get physical enough, they're just going to beat him up.
Yeah.
But Ditka still says he would 100% give Tebow a shot.
Yeah.
Because of how if he's really in that great a physical shape, you would be stupid not to.
Well, and he had a brilliant mind when it came to quarterbacking. He could pick apart defenses. He could read them from line of scrimmage pre-snap. He knows the playbook. So, I mean, if he comes out, I'm rooting for him to make me eat my words, you know?
Yeah.
And I will eat my words. I will, say that on one of the episodes when it comes to that point. But I just don't see it. If he does, great. I hope he does. It would be a gimmick turned into a real thing, which would be kind of cool, you know?
Yeah, and then Delaney Walker spoke out also.
Yeah.
And said people are talking about how Tebow's not used to getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
What he's saying is, I'm paraphrasing here, is they forget that when he won the Heisman Trophy, he was a running quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, he was running people over. He's not afraid of contact.
Yeah.
So he's like, it's going to see whether or not him getting hit is going to throw him off.
Yeah, the age, best shape or not, age, your body breaks down over the years.
Yeah.
But
maybe he's been doing that TB12 shit.
Could.
Hey, if he's on that TB12 shit, he can be running tight end.
We've discussed that, yeah. And he's going to be throwing the ball to himself.
And then the last tight end that spoke out, Shannon Sharp.
Oh God!
And that guy, he don't mince his words.
No.
It says it's a lot more difficult to run routes in a congested area instead of an open field.
And he would know. Hall of Famer.
He says you got people banging into you. The defensive ends got to block are bigger than you, and he's never blocked anybody.
Yeah.
He's never caught a pass in an NFL game or college game. You're asking him to do something he's never done in his entire life, and you're asking him to start at the highest level of the sport.
At 33 years old.
He said, so right there, you're asking a lot from one person.
Yeah, so who knows? Let's see if they don't cut him because they see a slight potential. If he doesn't look to us like he's working out, but Jacksonville might see something that we don't. But I agree with Shannon Sharp. They could. And I mean, think about it too. They can bring him in for some trick plays with Trevor Lawrence.
Dude, imagine a little flea flicker action over there to Tim Tebow, and he does his little ugly ass wind up throw.
Imagine this, and this is obviously this is probably not going to happen, but if it does, mark my words. In episode 3, I said this. If he goes and he starts practicing with the second team, just so he can be a quarterback against their second team defense
or
whatnot, and he proves himself more. It's not going to happen again. Like, don't.
You're trying to write a Disney script right
exactly.
now. Is what you're trying to write.
If he outshines Trevor Lawrence and becomes the freaking quarterback that he always wanted to be, that would be some shit. That would be. It's doable, but I just don't see it.
I don't see it because he would have, and this was his biggest issue. It was his throwing mechanics.
Yeah.
Because since high school, he had gotten away with the athletic part of it, and he could just throw however he wanted.
Yeah.
Then he has this.
It's wide. It's sloppy.
Everybody, like they've done sports science on it, where literally he goes from his ear, because that's where you're supposed to hold it as a quarterback, is up by your ear hole, and it should be a straight back, straightforward motion. His is a drop. Literally, the ball drops below his shoulder, and then he rotates around, which is more of an actual like baseball style throw.
Pitching, yeah.
Which obviously that motion didn't help him out a ton in baseball.
Well, and it takes more time in the pocket to get that pass
I think it was something like 15 milliseconds longer.
But how many times do you see a quarterback escape a sack in that amount of time, you know?
Well, and that's the thing is, when you say 15 milliseconds...
It seems like nothing.
It seems like nothing, but when it's a bang, bang, you got a 300-pound defensive lineman bearing down on you, 15 milliseconds is a long time to be holding on to that ball.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, well, I mean, good luck to him, and, I
don't wish ill on anybody. If he jumps in and becomes a tight end...
That'd be amazing.
Makes money and chills and does his thing, because Tebow's always said he uses his name and his sports and everything as a means to his end.
You think he's still a virgin?
I mean, isn't he married now?
I don't know. I don't follow the guy, to be
honest. I think he's married now. I'm going to double check that.
Yeah, but do you think... I mean, think about that. National championship back-to-back for one of the powerhouse teams. Heisman Trophy winner in college. He's the man, the biggest celebrity on campus at that time. You really think he was a virgin the whole time? Or do you think he was blowing smoke up people's ass?
I don't know, but...
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm thinking too much about another man's sexual activities. But
either way,
pause.
His wife is cute.
She's smoking?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
she's
I would hope so.
Miss South Africa.
Oh, wow. I would hope so. Like,
beauty pageant title holder, was crowned Miss Universe in 2017.
Good for him.
Her name is Demi Lee Nell Peters. Demi Lee is her first name. Nell Peters is her last name.
So she didn't take his last name?
I don't know if she did or didn't take his last name.
Or just doesn't use it for...
They got married in 2020, so not very long ago.
Yeah, he just got his cherry popped at 32. So moving on, you mentioned, you brought something to my attention that I was in... I knew about, but not to the extent. So, do you want to speak on the Kobe Nike situation, Vanessa Bryant, and R.I.P. to the Mamba, and all well wishes and everything out to Vanessa and the girls, and R.I.P. to Gianna and all that. Just lost a legend last year, and that still kind of hurts. But go ahead, Big.
But I read an article the other day that said Vanessa will be cutting ties with Nike, and she'll be seeking to possibly start Kobe's brand as its own brand. Not like go to Adidas or go to Under Armour or go to anything. She's about to big baller this bitch right now.
Which is crazy to me, because if you think about it, Yeezy is under the parent company, so under the umbrella of Adidas. Jordan's under the umbrella of Nike. And then who's the other big one? Curry. Curry now has his own line, but with Under Armour. So all of these people that have their own line, and don't get it twisted, Curry is not the magnitude of Jordan, obviously, but how you have the Jordan, a lot of people don't even know that Jordan's still made by Nike, but it's its own brand. Obviously, Yeezy now is his own brand with Adidas, but Curry finally got his own brand under Armour. But that's still, you have a major company backing you. So if she goes the Mamba route with no parent company, that's going to be crazy, because investors, people that like Beats by Dre, Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre, I watched a documentary, and they were toying around with what they could get into. And shoes was one of them that came up. But shoes is one of the hardest markets to conquer because the expenses to make. The overhead.
So baller brand's a big...
Yeah, they went with headphones because that was easier. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's when like Big Baller Brand had that issue.
First one to do it too.
And so they went and tried to do their own thing, and we all know how that ended. And I mean, I don't blame 100% Big Baller Brand for the way that ended. Maybe, I mean, obviously they had a snake in the midst.
Oh, 100%.
But still, I mean,
whatever his name was.
There was still like shoes weren't coming out when they were supposed to be coming to people.
Some people still haven't got them.
And so it's just a lot of that stuff.
But they started redoing it too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're up on the Ball in the Family on Facebook.
I haven't caught up on this new season.
So they haven't had like a new season, but the last season they were creating shoes again. But anyways, so go ahead and believe this about Vanessa and Kobe and the legacy.
Yeah, and so the reason she's stepping away is she feels, and this is her point of view. I'm not on the inside. I'm taking for what she says.
Face value.
She says she feels Nike is trying to monetize Kobe's death.
Yeah, and I've seen it. We all seen it.
The prices jumped, and that's the thing is like Nike makes all the jerseys now for the NBA. So why jump his jersey
price
sky high?
Yeah, price gouging.
It's not like you can't make more.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. It's not like it's the last jersey. Like I can understand if it was last game against the Jazz, that game worn jersey.
Yeah,
price should jump.
Or the Black Mamba jerseys they have now. I can understand that being for the Lakers Black Mamba edition.
Oh yeah,
they're wearing them. Was it tonight? Were they wearing? I just seen them wear them. I think that was a bubble. The playoffs they debuted them.
Yeah,
I understand those being more. It's a legacy jersey that are probably going to be a limited run, but that's not just Kobe's jersey. That's the whole team.
Yeah,
you can get every player on that team in that jersey. You can go to the China sites and I could get Gronkowski in a legacy Mamba Lakers jersey. But anyways,
but yeah. So
I seen that. Sorry, but I seen that right after he passed away. I was looking online, and his jerseys on Nike.com went, over 100 or 200 over what they were going for.
Yeah, and so what she's saying is, Kobe didn't want. Like limited runs, like some Jordans they do limited runs and all that kind of stuff, and the exclusive. And Kobe didn't want that because he wanted all of his fans to be able to buy it. But as soon as he died, Nike started doing limited runs and these exclusive runs of shoes, and Vanessa was like, "What is going on?"
And when it gets everything he stood for.
Yeah, and so she's stepping away from Nike. The deal was coming to a close anyway.
Yeah.
And they were going to have to re-sign.
Yeah.
And there's rumors that Kobe was already thinking about stepping away from Nike and doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And I think Vanessa's just trying to honor that.
That's awesome.
Just like she did. I don't know if they've revealed or if they're going to reveal, but I saw some pictures of what her and the NBA Hall of Fame did.
The legacy tribute.
With his legacy tribute, and it looks really good. So if you haven't seen it, look up the pictures.
And to carry on to that, I follow her on Instagram, and a while ago she was posting IG posts showing his memorabilia because she was the pack rat for Kobe. Kobe wasn't. I mean, if you guys remember years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago, he got into it with his mom or his mom and dad, and they were selling his like high school stuff and memorabilia, selling his some big honor awards that he had won and they were holding on to for him. They were auctioning it off against his against what he wanted, and there was a big lawsuit involved with that. So he never really kept his memorabilia. He didn't. I mean, he did, but not to a certain extent. Vanessa on this post was saying how she was the Kobe Bryant pack rat. Like, she has closets full of all his game-worn stuff. And in those same posts, she was showing all the stuff that she was donating to the NBA Hall of Fame for his legacy booth or whatever. It's display. It's a room.
Yeah, it really looks like, from the pictures, obviously, I haven't seen it in person, and I don't know if they've actually fully revealed it yet.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a room, like obviously there's rooms in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But it looks like they put a wall, and then on both sides they have like game worn. It's like game worn jersey with the shoes that were worn that game,
the shorts, everything,
and the wall is black.
Yeah.
And it has like a silhouette of Kobe and then like there's a basketball like he's holding it up to his forehead or something like.
And it's encased in glass and all that, right? I think
everything's encased in glass, and then it's painted, whatever.
And the lighting is real dim, which is cool.
And there's actually this cool picture that they share. Well, you probably might see it. I think it looked like it was posted from her IG. It's like because he's like leaned in on this basketball, like he's holding it with two hands and just like thinking.
Yeah.
And so she posed where her forehead, even though like his head's bigger, obviously because it's a big huge mural, where it looks like their foreheads are touching.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they took a picture, and I think from the article I was looking at, I'm pretty sure it was on her IG.
I'll check it out. I'm not big on I don't go on IG a lot, but I'll have to definitely check that out. That's amazing.
But if we want to keep rolling with the NBA stuff, more currently, I know we talked about Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
I think it was last episode.
I do believe.
And we were thinking maybe Melo would be able to squeak in there. I know he's back on the court, but I've been looking at the standings for Rookie of the Year, and he's kind of slipped a little bit to number 5.
That's crazy. Who are the 4 above him? Do you know?
I do. Number 1 is a junior. We've seen me and you both watched his dad play.
Gary Payton Jr.
Kenyon Martin.
Oh, Kmart.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's averaging 22.
I didn't even know he was in the league.
Yeah, he just got inserted into the starting lineup this week.
And he's first for Rookie of the Year. He's putting up phenomenal numbers then, isn't he?
22 points.
Wow.
9 rebounds.
Ooh.
As a small forward.
Yeah, I was going to say he's not a big.
And 4 assists. And he's shooting 62% from deep.
Yeah, that'll do it right there.
That's number 1. Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
Another small forward.
Yeah.
21 points.
Who's he with right now? He's with
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves, that's right. Okay.
6 rebounds and 3 assists out of that same small forward spot. And then Armani Brooks. He's a point guard for the Rockets. 19 points, 3.5 rebounds. Personally, my point guard, I would want a little bit more.
No, absolutely. But how many rebounds did you say?
No, I was about to say his assist numbers.
Oh, okay, my fault.
He's under 3 assists a game.
Oh yeah, for a point?
Point guard.
Oh yeah, he should have. Yeah.
He signed a 2-way contract with the Rockets in April.
Yeah.
Which means that they can kick him up and down between G League and
back and forth.
But for him to have that, because a lot of guys that end up on this list usually aren't 2-way contract guys. So for him to be up here as a 2-way contract guy,
yeah, you think that if he's even in the running for Rookie of the Year, that they would have he would have done enough for that team for them to sign him to a real contract.
Yeah, and so we have 4th is Sadiq Bey. Sadiq. It's Saddiq.
Yeah, Sadiq.
Sadiq Bey, another small forward, 18.3 points, 6 rebounds, and he's shooting over 50% from deep. He broke some rookie records. This week he recorded most 3-pointers made per game as a rookie, 2.5, surpassing Donovan Mitchell, Luka Doncic, and Dame Dollar.
Those are some big names, some big shoes.
He's making threes at a 39% clip on his efficiency rating. The next closest on the list in terms of percentage, 36.8.
Damn.
So him and Dame are topped at 39. So it means 39% of their shots are coming from deep.
That's wild. People don't understand that. So, like, almost every 4 out of 10 shots are from 3-point range. That's crazy.
And then here is LaMelo. 16 points a game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2.5 steals.
See, his seems more well-rounded.
And, again, I always say that Zoe's that...
Mellow.
Well, no.
Oh, you're talking about Big Brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I always say that Zoe is that J. Kidd kind of style.
Yeah.
This stat line
is more like that.
Is like a J. Kidd kind of style.
Well, and Melo's just a true facilitator with his no-look passes. He could be driving and know he can get this lay in, and still flip it behind his back to somebody else for the jam. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like, he's very unselfish. Very unselfish.
The thing they said is he's back after missing a lot of time from his wrist. and they've noticed a decrease in his jump shot percentage.
Well, yeah, he's working that stiff wrist down.
And so that's kind of dropped him down the list a bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you got to think, too, that his numbers, his averages are going to be lower, too, because he hasn't played enough.
Yeah, and then it says he's still contributing, whether it's putting up 12 boards and 7 assists on a night where he goes 0 for 3 from deep, or if going 11 for 22 from the field in the same game, he missed all 7 of his threes.
Damn.
So his wrist just isn't strong enough for 3 right now.
Yeah.
And this is what I was worried about, is the Hornets were like, we need to hurry him back. We need to hurry him back so that we can make a run at the playoffs. And so you're seeing that effect because they brought him back. So his wrist is probably still stiff. It's probably not 100% healed.
They didn't let him rehab long enough.
And so, I mean, they're in the playoffs. Well, they're in the play-in tournament as the 8th seed right now, which they're at 33 and 37, so under 500 to be in the play-in tournament.
Well, see, and that's why we say, and we said earlier when we were discussing things, that in every sports organization, it should be the best at 16. It shouldn't be, the best out of, or, you know what I'm saying, each conference or whatever.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, if you look at it,
teams are getting screwed that are, a team is getting in that's under a 500, and there's teams that are over that are getting, they're not making it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Because if you think about it, in the West, if you played right now and there was no play-in, nothing like that, the Warriors
would be out.
No, they'd be in. They're at 8th right now.
Oh, okay.
But they're 38 and 33
uh-huh.
as the 8th seed. That means that if they were to go to the East, they would be the 7th seed.
Yeah. Well, said in the Eastern Conference
has
always been known for not as good as the Western Conference.
And I know that's like, oh my God, one spot.
That means a lot, though. That's a big
difference.
But
if you look at this, the 5 and the 6 seed in the East have 39 wins.
Yeah.
And the 4 seed has 40 wins.
Yeah, so they're right.
So you're telling me that if the Warriors would have won 2 more games, they could have been a 4th or a 3rd seed in the East?
Yeah. That's nuts.
Instead of, if you'd have won 2 more games
in the West,
you would have been tied for 7th place. So you would have moved up 1 instead of 4 spots.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like,
hey, real fast, I have this put up on laptop. Listen to this headline. Packers coach Matt LaFleur pleads for end to Rodgers' trauma. We want him back in the worst way. That sounds like an ex that can't get over the breakup, does it not?
Facts. And everybody's on this hype about, they signed
Blake Bortles.
Okay, first off.
Well, they signed Jordan Love or whatever his name was in the draft.
They drafted him last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Drafted him. So, 2 quarterbacks.
Well, my thing is, okay, we know Jordan Love's going to be the heir. Whether he's going to be Rodgers to Favre.
Yeah, but whether it's going to happen this season or 3 or 4 seasons down the road.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, it going to transition where Favre, Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Rodgers, Hall of Famer.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Is he going to follow in the footsteps?
Is he going to follow in that footsteps, or is it going to be and just drop off?
Yeah, like Garoppolo to...
Yeah, like if Brady would have taken over, or if Garoppolo would have taken over for Brady? Yeah.
Yep.
And so my thing is, teams do this all the time. When you go into camp, you sign an extra quarterback or 2, and they call them camp arms. Because if you want to be able to see everybody, you need 3 or 4 quarterbacks out there throwing.
Yeah, somebody needs to play with the second defense, the second team defense, and all that.
And you want to be able, because I mean, really, when you go in there, how many receivers are on that 90-man roster?
Yeah, probably 8. I mean, if you're including practice squad, second team, all that.
Well, the thing is, in camp, there's no practice squad. Practice squad comes and practices.
Yeah, it's 90 man. You're right.
You know what I mean?
There's probably 8 plus you sign a couple extra that you're going to release some.
Yeah, and then you have tight ends and running backs and all these guys you want to see run routes.
And they, catch. Even the running backs need to catch passes.
And so it's like if you only have your starter and your backup, you're telling me that everybody is going to get the amount of reps to fully scout them?
Yeah.
No. And so they bring it in. Really, I think that's why they brought in Blake Bortles.
Yeah, a lot hasn't been made of it.
So I have two reasons. Camp arm, and if Aaron Rodgers does bounce out, they need a backup for
100%.
And Bortles is a journeyman backup. Like, he's not a great quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
He just bounces around and backs up people. That's what he does. And then once in a while, he gets a start, looks okay, whatever. He's like a less good Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, what do you mean?
Very less good. He ain't got that magic. You don't hear Blake Bortles magic. He's not built like that. You know, he doesn't have that big beard and stuff.
Well, that beard.
Makes him a man's man quarterback.
But yeah, no, so that's the only reason they signed him. And people want to blow it out to be this, oh my God, they signed Blake Bortles. Really, you think they signed Blake Bortles to replace Aaron Rodgers?
No, but I was thinking possibly to be a backup to Jordan.
Oh, no,
Jordan Love,
saying,
right?
Jordan Love. But I've seen, articles where they're like, oh my God, signed Blake Bortles. Oh my God. Like it's an end of you're ending Aaron Rodgers' era with Blake Bortles. Like, why don't we talk about the guy in the middle?
Yeah,
Jordan Love, who they went up and drafted last year.
They obviously chased, and they moved up to? Did they move up to get him? I don't remember.
I don't know. I know that Aaron Rodgers wasn't happy, not because he was being replaced.
Well,
that's part of it. Obviously,
they didn't get him any weapons. That was the thing. They never have. They've never really done. Like, they've maybe signed some okay names in free agency or drafted a couple decent players, but mainly he's looking for a big name. Because if you think of the Packers now, you know who's with Devontae Adams is that the running back, and who's their wide receiver that came out of nowhere and just dominated. But either way, when you think of Packers in the last few seasons, you don't think of anybody but
Devontae Adams is
the wide receiver. Who's their running back that they had or have?
And then they have Alan Lazard at
that's the one that came out of nowhere. And both those receivers did. But when you think Packers, you think Aaron Rodgers, and most people can't really name another player on the offensive side of the ball.
Aaron Jones
is
their running back.
But you know what I'm saying, though? So they never really... It's like, if you really care about your franchise quarterback who is won multiple MVPs, who's won a Super Bowl with you guys, and he's decent every single year. You have a run at the Super Bowl. When he goes in and says, "Hey, I need more firepower. I need this. I need that. I need a guy like so and so." You know what I'm saying? You do that shit. You try to appease him. Like Manning, that's why he ended up leaving the Patriots. He wasn't getting enough say in everything, and that man was taking pay cuts every season. As much as I don't like to admit it, I'm happy to say that we get to witness greatness. We got to witness. You're a little bit younger than me, but I remember watching Jordan play. I remember living in Utah. My grandpa taking me to the Delta Center to watch the Jazz play, and watching Michael Jordan against the Jazz, and just being in awe that I'm watching. Even at that time, as a kid, I knew this was a legend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we get to see these great players. We'll be able to tell our kids that, I remember when I was, 20-something, 30-something watching, Tom Brady play, who is the GOAT. You hate him or love him, he's the GOAT. Been to 10, won 7. His average is better than LeBron, and people say LeBron's a GOAT,
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, speaking of Tom Brady, the Bucks play the Pats this year.
Oh, yeah, and that's week 4, I believe.
They're selling for thousands of dollars already. The tickets are already going for thousands of dollars.
And what's funny is if is it in Gillette?
I don't know. I'm gonna check.
Listen, if it's in Gillette, you know how many motherfuckers are gonna be wearing a Brady jersey and cheering for him? They're gonna do like they do in the NBA when a player comes back, do a whole montage on the big screen, and there's gonna be a standing ovation. You know what I'm saying?
It's at New England.
Yeah, no, that's why they're
on October 3rd.
If it was in Tampa Bay, they wouldn't be that much. It's because all these New England fans want to see Tom Brady. He's a god in New England, bro. In Boston, in Massachusetts, he's a fucking god.
So
people name their kids after him.
So as of right now, the tickets are selling for as much as $9,000.
So as much. So that's like the most expensive. So that's like 50-yard line club, like field side or suites.
Yeah.
But either way, still, when does that ever happen?
Cheapest tickets, $1,400.
That's nosebleeds that are usually a couple.
That's section 311,
$311,
which means that's like third level.
bro.
Row 22.
Damn.
$1,400.
That's wild. And he's gonna get a standing ovation there.
Well, and that's the thing is like he didn't do them dirty.
No, they kind of did him a little bit.
And so there's no way they give him. And yeah, so for $8,862, you can get a 50-yard line ticket, row 1.
Damn.
For $9,000.
And for an extra $1,500, you could sniff his jock strap after the game. Did you hear his quote about when the schedule was released about playing the Packers or the Patriots?
No.
He said, and I quote, "It's like introducing your high school friends to your college friends." I don't know. I don't even know what that means exactly, but how it sounds kind of fucked up. And also, me being a diehard Cowboys fan, week 1, Thursday night football, our first game is against the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers. And he said, and I quote, I'm really excited. Well, I can't quote because I can't think of the exact words. Something to the effect of, he's excited to play. And he put in parentheses, America's team. Like, oh, you motherfucker, dude.
He's had, like, everybody
You're not
has
even Florida's team, dude. Well, no, yeah, there.
Everybody has a thing when the Cowboys get that America's team. Because everybody's like, what the fuck have they done in the last, you know what I mean?
27 years. I get it, dude. And that's why
But it's a nickname.
No, 100%. And that's why I don't take offense when people are like, oh, last time you won a Super Bowl with VHS, or you're right, dude. And you know me.
He said 8-track tapes were spinning, boy.
Vinyl records and shit. But we're one of the same. Like, if we, give credit where credit's due. And we admit, if it doesn't matter if I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, you're a diehard Broncos fan. If we're fucking up, we're fucking up. And I'll talk shit about, not talk shit, but I'll joke about my own team. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
A lot of people, and I understand why people hate the Cowboys because they're fans. Just like people hate the 49ers because they're fans, and this, that, and the third. But Cowboys fans can be fucking ignorant as shit. A lot of them. But I try to stay away from that aspect of it. But yes, the quest for 6. Oh my god. 3 seasons straight they kept yelling that. I'm like, well, shouldn't it be like quest for 9 now? But anyways, did you see that Alex Rodriguez, his group is closing the deal to buy the Minnesota Timberwolves and Lynx? I'm guessing that's their minor league team for
Lynx is the WNBA team for Minnesota.
Well, they're buying the Timberwolves and the Lynx for $1.5 billion. That sounds kind of cheap to get 2 fucking franchises, given the WNBA isn't as popular. You know what I'm saying? Not even close, but still, that's a good fucking deal. Maybe they're like, look, you pay us $1.5 billion for the Timberwolves, we'll throw in the Lynx.
Well, and that's the thing is, I know they have this whole esports thing too.
Yeah.
So that means that they also, I'm pretty sure the Timberwolves have a 2K team.
I believe so too. So they automatically acquire that?
They automatically, because when I've read things on it. When you are drafted to the esports team, you're an employee of said NBA team.
I have seen that as well.
So like you get the health benefits just like the NBA players. Yeah. You get the health benefits just like
crazy.
The NBA players.
Hey, you hurt your thumb gaming and they take you to the training set.
And so you get like you get access to like different parts of the stadium because you're technically
an
employee. And it's crazy to think that. So now, I mean, not only did they get the Lynx, I know the 2K league it's not huge, but it's making money.
I mean, to have the NFL's attention. And the NBA's attention, and NFL too, right? Don't they have something going? No.
They do. Madden does.
It's not the same.
Madden does their championship series. They have 2 big tournaments, really. They have the Madden Ultimate Team one.
But that's Madden. That's promoted by Madden. So.
And then they have the championship series, whereas like you'll play like 8 guys will fight to be able to rep one team.
Gotcha.
And so it'll be like the Patriots Cup. So 8 guys will vie to play to represent the Patriots in the final tournament.
No, sorry.
But the NFL isn't really on with it. Like, it's not a big...
The NBA is the leading when it comes to the new, you know?
Well, so... And
they're so far ahead of their time when it comes to shit.
But it's also easier, one, because, like, 2K has the My Player side, and you really only need 5 guys to put a squad together.
Absolutely.
Right now, Madden has fucked up, and they don't have their superstar mode like they used to. I've heard leaks that...
I didn't even buy the new one because I heard it's just last year's game just rebadged.
It literally is just, especially like for me
and the new players for the draft and free agency.
Like for me and you, we don't play a lot of Ultimate Team. We don't play a lot of like those modes, and we play a lot of franchise.
Love franchise.
And it literally was rebadged. Some of the times when you would go into Super Bowls, it would.
I heard they had banners from the last season. Like 2020.
Yeah.
Like, what the Like, come on, guys. Really?
And they've promised, literally posted this big long thing, and promised a lot of franchise changes. Like, and they weren't like, we promised changes. They listed specific, like, bullet points on things they were going to add.
They never did.
Well, no, we won't. I mean, we won't see until the new one drops.
But they could patchwork shit in.
Well, they did. So they had some things that they said they would patch throughout 21, the current game.
Yeah, Madden 21.
And they hit all those bullet points that they said they were going to hit. And they said, these are the things we're going to do in 22. Which the leak is showing Derrick Henry is going to be the cover athlete for.
Nice.
He's the first running back since Adrian Peterson on the 25th anniversary edition of Madden.
Madden 25, which threw everybody off because it was like the Madden 18 or some shit.
Yeah, and we're getting close to Madden 25, so what are they going to...
Yeah. No, exactly. It's going to be quarter centennial or something. You know what I'm saying? Like some weird shit.
So that's why I'm like, I'm going to be searching for Madden 25, and I'm going to buy the
wrong one.
The wrong one.
Shit. But what do you think about Alex Rodriguez closing this deal with his group?
I mean,
I just don't see him. Like, he's okay. An owner's an owner. A lot of them don't know about basketball, but he's a baseball.
If Mark Cuban can run a team,
Mark Cuban is he's got a brilliant mind.
He's a business
mind. He's got a fucking temper too, though.
He's got a business mind, but he doesn't. When he bought that team, he didn't know basketball. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But it doesn't. Alex Rodriguez he's part owner of the Miami the baseball team.
The Marlins?
Yeah. Because
probably.
There was a big deal about him coming in and then the team just going to shit. They were trading people off. Yeah, it's not Jeter. You never hear anything bad about Jeter. You don't hear shit about Jeter anymore because he stays in the limelight and he's just a thorough, authentic guy.
Well, I mean, and then you got A-Rod and his...
A-Rod, steroids.
And then him and his boo thing broke up.
J-Lo, yeah. He's crying about her and she's hanging out with Matt Damon and shit. Or, Ben Affleck.
He just got caught hanging out with some actress or model or something.
Well, see, and Alex Rodriguez is simping. Like, he just posted an IG, and it was a picture, like, from an angle of him at the dinner table with his 2 daughters, and then a 4th plate where J-Lo would be sitting said, having dinner with my girls. Like, he's simping. You know what I'm saying? Like, who were we talking about earlier that it seems Jada like an ex-girlfriend? That was Tebow. No, who were we talking about at the beginning of the podcast? It was like a breakup that they couldn't get over. Anyways, we'll circle back to that. But, he's simping, and J-Lo's out hanging out with Batman himself.
Oh, the Packers. Because he was that was
we
want him back at any
in the worst way.
In the worst way.
That's how like, A-Rod is acting with J-Lo right now. But, I mean, damn, she's 50-something years old, got a body of a fucking 21-year-old.
God, yeah.
But she's hanging out with Batman. Ben Affleck, her ex-boyfriend and shit. But
Batman.
Seems like she's moved on.
And speaking of A-Rod, this kind of links to it because he was a Mariner for a while.
Yeah.
They had their 2 big prospects make their major league debuts on Thursday night. So last night, well, 2 nights ago when you guys hear this, last night when we're recording. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it depends, which platform you're listening to it on.
And so the starting pitcher, I guess the night didn't go very well for him. But their 21-year-old fielder, in his second at bat, went yard.
Shut up.
2-run shot in the bottom of the third.
Good for him.
So, I mean, that's looking up for those Mariners. And then, it came off his bat at 109.3.
Damn.
95 and up are considered lasers, like hard hit.
Yeah.
And he's hitting 110 pretty much.
Going yard at 110?
Yeah. He was the 6th overall pick in 2018 out of high school.
Damn.
So he, in 3 years, made his major league debut. He was actually selected by the Mets and came over to the Mariners in the Robinson Cano trade in December. So he hasn't even been with the Mariners for very long.
That's crazy. He's a true athlete. Sounds like.
Oh, they didn't even bring him to camp.
So they just threw him in the mix, huh?
Yeah, they didn't bring him to camp initially, like spring training. Because they, like, with the minor leaguers, they don't bring all of them.
Yeah.
They only bring some of them. And so they sent him to AAA, played 6 games. He hit
What's his average?
370.
That's all right. That's actually pretty good, huh?
With, yeah, I mean, that's almost 4 hits at every 10 at-bats. 370, but then his, I always forget what it's called, but he hit a 630, which is like, and that rating is for whether or not he's hitting singles, doubles, a homer. If you're hitting a homer every time, it's 1,000.
Okay.
Is the rating, or 1.
So 630 would be like
630
a double.
He's hitting a doubles and triples almost every time he's at bat.
Jesus.
And in those 6 games, he had 2 home runs and 2 steals.
Wow.
In 6 games, and now he has a big league home run,
and maybe on his way to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. I mean, he could. These MLB teams do this cheeky ass thing sometimes with rookies, though, because the MLB's I shouldn't say the only one I know about. I don't know if hockey has this rule, but in the MLB, you're considered a rookie until you get in a certain number of at bats in a season.
Yeah.
And so in the MLB,
you can win Rookie of the Year 3 years into your contract.
Yeah, and the thing in the MLB is your free agency ticker doesn't start until you're not considered a rookie, and you can't even enter free agency until 6 years of major league play.
That's wild. But you know what's good about that is their contracts are fully guaranteed.
So what people do, what MLB teams have been known to do, is they'll let this guy play, kick him to AAA. Mm-hmm. Let him play, kick him to AAA.
To get freaking 12 years out of a 6-year deal.
To get an extra, and so then next year, and then next year what they'll do is they'll start him in AAA, leave him there for a little bit, bring him up, so that maybe next year he gets enough at bats. So they'll get an extra 2 years.
Yeah, that's freaking ridiculous. You're toying with someone's life, man. That's crazy.
Just so that they can, because the thing is, like, their rookie contract isn't however many years.
Yeah.
Because most of these guys, like this guy, 2018, he spent 3 years in the minors. So he was drafted at 17 or 18.
Yeah.
So he's now 21. He's 21, it says right here. So he's drafted at 18, 21 now. So now he can't even be a free agent. Let's say they don't toy with him. Let's say
27.
27.
Oh, no, sorry. No, because he was drafted at... Wait,
yeah, but those 3 years don't count. The minor league years don't count. It's only pro years.
That's right. And it's after so many at-bats.
And so...
Hasn't even reached that certain amount of at-bats yet. You know what I'm saying?
No, because the year just started.
So he might not even hit that number of at-bats. Well, if he's doing that good, they're going to play him.
No. They've done it. They did it with Vlad Guerrero Jr. Mm-hmm. That team, what is it, the Braves or whoever he plays for, they did it to him. And he's the truth.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. That's so crazy. The MLB is a different beast.
So here we go. How many at-bats to qualify as a rookie? So in a single season, you need to have over 130 at-bats.
And this, I mean, I get they play 160 games?
182?
182 games, I believe. I think you're right. So you might not even see that in the season, depending on how good your hitters are. You might, if you get, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, if you're playing in that, I mean, even in a bad game, you're guaranteed at least 2 at-bats.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of it like that.
Even in a bad game, even if you're getting like, I mean, honestly, if you're getting skunked, you technically could see 3 at-bats depending on if you're top or bottom of the order or whatever.
You'd have to be clearing the order. Like, you'd have to go up way big to get more than that, though.
But yeah, so I mean, if you're getting 3 at-bats, you should easily...
A third through the season.
But, like I said, the thing they'll do, and obviously people don't, even the best, even A-Rod and all those guys never played every game.
Yeah.
You take breaks and whatever.
Well, I mean, this is the only sport that has double headers. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Giants, being a Giants fan, they just played 2 games in the same day recently. You play a morning game, you relax for a few hours, rest up, get some batting practice back in, and then that evening you start a second game. Imagine that, dude. No. And 9 innings. Imagine being an outfielder and just standing there for a lot of the time. Or being a shortstop and having, or pitcher. Well, pitchers don't play as much. But a shortstop gets more action than almost anybody.
Yeah.
Imagine being a shortstop and having to play 2 fucking games in one day.
Yeah.
Not in 24 hours, you know, like in
same 24 hour period.
But way less, and you know, like that's wild.
And so the typical major league starter will hit a average guy 550 at bats.
That's crazy.
In a year.
That's crazy. That's nuts. Baseball's such a
but it says some are higher and some are lower, obviously, but average is about 550. And to be considered a rookie pitcher, you have to pitch at least 50 innings in a season.
50?
50. So as a closer, let's say you're a relief pitcher or a closer, you may not hit that for multiple seasons.
You better hope you don't start off as a closer or reliever. You better hope you start as a...
Well, that's the thing is, even a lot of starters start off as relievers. Because, I mean, most starters, unless you're Steven Strasburg or... these bigger guys that are like highly touted starters.
Yeah, you only play for 5 innings at most on average.
They come in as relievers.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Because like they have their starters and they're like, okay, cool. Like we'll bring you up from the minors.
Yeah.
You'll be a reliever. We'll use you.
Close up. Yeah.
2 or 3 innings or 3 or 4 innings if we're having a bad start, whatever. And so I mean, you'd have to pitch. You'd have to average 3 innings a game. Mm-hmm. To get to your 50?
Yeah, 3 hours. Then that would still take you, what, 15 games? Or 17, 18 games?
Yeah.
Just about. That's crazy. But, so.
And I mean, with relievers, you're not guaranteed to get in, ever.
Yeah, no.
Because they can literally, they pick their relievers based on the situation and everything.
But who's hitting, if they're left or if they're right, all that stuff. I just came across this. Do you know who Forbes named the richest celebrity of 2020? Of the 2020s, it says, with an apostrophe S, 2020s.
No.
Conor McGregor. $180 million this past year. It says Conor showed off a custom cake. Yeah, he had a party. He was gifted for raking in a reported $180 million this past year. I don't know why it says 2020s with an apostrophe S with plural.
Okay, so you read that, and I was sitting here, and I was
2020s, we're only 2021, that's why.
I was like...
I was thinking from 2000 to
At first I was like, man, that's a big feat, and then I was like... I mean, don't get me wrong, big feat, makes way more money, props to you, Conor, you're good at PR shit.
Fuck.
But... in my head, it was a bigger deal when you...
Yeah.
And then I was like...
because I emphasized the
2020s. I was like, well, first off, 2020 was a super down year for everybody.
Everybody.
And then we're not that far into 21.
So it's a big feat at that. But yeah, I was thinking... when I read 2020,
I was thinking
2000 to now.
In my head, I was thinking, like, man, this guy's been killing it for a decade. Like, in my
2
head.
decades.
And I was just like... oh.
He's been killing it for
14 months? 18 months, whatever.
No, I think like 7 or like 19, whatever. But yeah, no, it's like, okay, I feel dumb as shit, but whatever. But still, $180 million?
Hey, you're killing the game.
Yeah, that's crazy. Conor's doing it. But and then Logan Paul, I didn't watch the video, but supposedly he beat up 4 of the Gronkowski brothers. Obviously, it was in sparring in the ring, practicing and shit. But all of those brothers are pretty fucking big. But again, it doesn't that doesn't automatically mean you can fight. Now, if you put Gronk in there, I think Gronk smash. Gronk's just got that. Yeah, I'm not going to say that word. But he's got that strength. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
But even his other brothers were football players, weren't they? Didn't one of them play college and another one actually make pros? I'm pretty sure one of them's
still in the NFL.
Yeah, one's in the NFL. So, and how many Gronk brothers are there? 4, 5? Because I don't think he fought Rob. I'll look into that right now.
No, there's only 4.
Is there? So wait, so he?
Oh no, there's Rob and then 4 more.
Yeah, then, okay. I don't think Rob's getting in the ring.
Dan Gronkowski, who
is NFL.
So there's 2 brothers in the NFL then.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So Dan Gronkowski, and then, which is crazy because what's he play? He plays for the Lions now. Is that what it is?
I believe that's where I last heard of him playing.
He also plays tight end. He's played for Denver, New England. Oh, he was drafted by the Lions.
Okay.
And he since has played for Denver, New England, and Cleveland.
Gotcha.
And as of right now, the brother, Chris Gronkowski, is our fullback. When I say our fullback, I'm not as a Broncos fan.
So Rob Gronkowski referees as Logan Paul boxes 4 of the Gronkowski brothers.
And then you have Gordy Gronkowski Jr. He's a former All-American baseball player. He played with the Los Angeles Angels minor league team for a couple years.
Yeah, they're all super talented.
And then you got Glenn Gronkowski.
That name you don't hear Glenn too much.
He was a fullback. Played at Kansas State. He went undrafted and then was signed by the Bills. And he was on the practice squad for the Patriots for a couple years.
Gotcha. Dude, listen to this. Logan Paul has taken on 4 brothers in an exhibition boxing match, beating them all in quick succession ahead of the huge fight against Floyd Mayweather. He fought all 4 at the same time.
Okay, but we've seen what Rob does on WWE.
Yeah. No, but he didn't fight Rob. Rob just refereed.
But I'm just saying.
Oh, you think it was just publicity?
You don't think it was for fun?
Oh, yeah, no, it probably was. But then again, with your pride as a Gronkowski, for sure, I would think that you'd want to, it's probably playing around.
I would say, if you've seen what Rob does, I don't know if he has a lot of pride.
Well, he doesn't have to. Because he does have pride.
This
he's made his name.
This motherfucker up here dancing with no shirt on, like a weird looking. And I'm not talking like dude wasn't dancing good.
He can't.
He
I
was
love Gronk.
Trashy, drunk, cool. Like we were
all.
What
you talking about on stage in Vegas? Yeah. When the fan came up and he body slammed him, that motherfucker choke slammed him on stage. Wow.
That's what I'm talking about.
He also has the booze cruise, the Gronk booze cruise or something, where he rents out like a whole ocean liner, like a cruise ship. And it's nothing, I don't know how many days, but getting fucked up. And they have celebrities, rappers, they come on and they perform and yada yada. And I can't remember the celebrity, if you don't mind, if you want to look this up. I want to say Snoop. But he was drunk as fuck and choke slammed and ran up and, or he didn't, he like, I think he Goldberged him into the pool or some shit. And it was like, it wasn't scripted. It wasn't, the person that he did it to didn't even know it was going to happen. Gronk was just like, Gronk smash, and went and fucking just trashed him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who did you do it to?
Let's see. It says the Gronkest moments of the party cruise.
The party crew. Dude, Gronk he's not an animal. That's my spirit animal.
10 grand cash right now. Whoo! He offered a couple 10 grand cash to just clap cheeks in front of the whole fucking crowd. 10 grand cash.
Oh, shit.
To clap it.
Damn. He's an exhibitionist.
He had Flow Rider perform on the cruise.
Maybe that's who it was. That had to be it.
He said, somebody gonna
Flow Rider's a big motherfucker.
He was on the stage and said, somebody's gonna get pregnant tonight.
And Flow Rider said, not me, motherfucker.
A Gronk fan from Kentucky was there, and there was a Q&A, and he proposed to his girlfriend. They played a version of Family Feud.
Oh my god.
That's funny. No, I'd go on this cruise 100%.
Dude,
I can't find out I can't see who he tackled, but 100%. If like
back in the day, that was our type of time. That was our type of time back in the day. I mean, still, it would be fucking awesome.
I want to know if he's I mean, this might be weird, but I'm kind of curious if this couple took it and said, "Hey, let me get this $10,000," and just.
Oh man! Oh, and for the oh, it was Waka Flocka.
Oh, was it?
I believe it was Waka, but yeah, that's crazy.
2,500 of his.
Listen, famous DJ says Gronk Cruise poop prank led to lifetime bans. Jesus.
Poop prank?
Poop prank.
Yeah, so it only cost $700 to go on the cruise.
Bro,
2,500 people.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he invited them $10,000, bang in front of everybody.
You keep revisiting that. You
well,
really
I'm trying
to see this. Yeah, you
I'm trying to see other
videos?
things that happened.
See if you can find videos on Google.
There's a video. Obviously, I'm not going to play it on.
We'll revisit this next week.
He was on stage during a DJ set as fans were dancing.
Yeah, what happened?
He was there with 3 of his siblings and his dad.
Oh, his dad. Yeah, his dad's with the shits, too. I mean, think about that. You're raising these 5 Gronk boys that are fucking outrageously crazy. You think the dad's not?
Oh, yeah.
They've got to get it from somewhere. And I've heard the mom is very, like, you know, like...
it left Miami and then went down to the Bahamas. It made a private stop on Gronk Island.
Uh-huh.
And they were gone for 4 days.
That's crazy. That sounds like the most amazing cruise ever.
For $700?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? Because cruises are usually like fucking $3,500.
Well, and okay, so normal cruise, whatever, you might be able to get a cheap one, whatever. But you're not partying with
Gronk.
Rob Gronkowski
and
with
Waka Flocka,
Flow Rider.
See somebody get their cheeks clapped.
Yeah, dude.
Or maybe.
Allegedly.
Well, we don't even know if they took that.
Allegedly, I swam in a canal.
Fucking Pat McAfee.
Oh, speaking of Pat McAfee, did you hear you know who Dr. Disrespect is, right?
It sounds familiar, but I can't say I do.
He's a big streamer. He was on Twitch, got kicked off Twitch, plays Call of Duty. He literally his whole mantra is just talking shit. Obviously by his name, Dr. Disrespect. Really good at Call of Duty, really good at games. He actually was a developer for Call of Duty for a little while and helped design maps.
Is he like an 8-year-old kid that calls you the N-word and some...
No, this guy's
I'm kidding.
This guy's 35, 40, has kids and a wife, and he literally wears pit viper glasses and puts on a wig and it's a whole he goes into a whole persona.
Gotcha.
It's not his real self is a super nice guy.
It's a character,
but his character is
disrespectful. Yeah.
And so on stream, he said that he believes he can throw a football farther than Pat McAfee can punt.
Oh, bro, come on.
And so there's a clip of AJ Hawk, because you know how they go back and forth, right? He's
AJ Hawk's fucking chin is...
AJ Hawk was yeah, he probably could, Pat. And Pat was what you talking about?
He stirs the shit so bad.
And I guess Dr. Disrespect is yeah, Pat only punts 50 or 60 yards. I could easily throw farther than that.
That's what he punts in the NFL because that's what he needs to do, or when he punted because that's what you needed to do.
And Dr. Disrespect is but we're not counting that roll bullshit.
Oh shit.
He's we don't count the roll. It's wherever it hits. And then Pat said something well, he's he might be right now because the other day I went and kicked some field goals. And the next day I woke up and I could barely walk. But yeah. He said, but being me, you got to act like you didn't hurt nothing.
Competitive as shit.
But he's what Dr. Disrespect isn't factoring in is that when you look at a punt distance, like in the stat book, it's not counting the 11 yards that I'm standing behind the line of scrimmage.
Oh, that's true. I never thought about that.
So he's like a 60-yard punt, even if you're counting
it's
it when it hits the
line
ground.
Of scrimmage.
It's 71. He's like 70 or 71-yard punt.
Shit.
With no roll.
I never thought about that. Did you? Did you ever think about that? I only think about that with field goals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And in field goals, don't they only count it to the line of scrimmage as well? They don't count back to where it's snapped to, which is another 8 yards.
No, with field goals, I believe they do count spot a ball.
Got you. Okay.
Because I've.
Oh yeah, because the announcers will even say
they'll be like, it depends on where the hold is set.
Yeah.
Especially when they're going for like records, it'll be like it all depends on where they set up the hold.
Yeah, that's true.
On whether or not this will be a 55 or
56.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
But yeah, no, punts are counted from the line of scrimmage.
That's great. Imagine that. The records would be so much different.
And his thing was like, you got to think about it this way too. So like, let's say you punt to a guy, and he catches it. Mm-hmm. They don't catch it at the ground.
No,
they catch it in their chest.
So
he's like, so if you think about it, it could easily have gone another 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah.
So he's saying if I kick a 61, it's really like a 75.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah. No. He's
with no roll.
I can see that.
And he's like, so now if you think about it, add the roll. He's like, some of us punters are almost kicking 100 yards.
Absolutely.
He said between 80 and 90 yards a punt. He's like, am I saying I could do that right now in the shape I'm in? No. And AJ Hawk's like, not at all. I was like, God dang, Hawk, like, you're just over here just bashing the boy.
Dude, that's how we are, though, too. Listen to this headline. Logan Paul, we're taking Floyd's kill you threat seriously, adding 24/7 security. So when they were doing their face-off on stage and their shit-talking, Floyd, I guess, and I haven't seen it because I don't care to watch that. From what I'm getting from this article, this Floyd says something about killing him. It says Logan Paul says he and his brother are taking no chances after Floyd Mayweather's "I'll kill you" threat, telling TMZ Sports they now have security watching them at all times. Floyd dropped a menacing warning to Jake Paul after the younger Paul brother famously stole the boxer's hat during a confrontation at the Logan Mayweather pre-fight news conference in Miami last week. Bro, he said something in the heat of the moment that he, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, we need the police. Like, I'm surprised they didn't make a police report, or I'm not sure if they have. But really, dude, you think Floyd Mayweather's really gonna have you killed? Like, I don't. It's crazy. I think they're doing publicity shit. That's what the Paul brothers are doing.
Well, and as we're talking about this, 6 hours ago, Floyd Mayweather says the fight was supposed to happen in Dubai. That was the original. And now his company is suing.
$120 million. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the Pac Entertainment Worldwide approached them with this fight and said the event would be in Dubai.
Yeah.
Because this company had numerous business contacts in Dubai, and they had the capability to host a fight. Blah 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 blah.
Well, that's where the first UFC fight happened during COVID.
And
because they could.
The first payment of $30 million to Mayweather was due on March 25th.
So Mayweather's people are suing, or the company, the promotion company, which should be Floyd.
Mayweather Promotions is suing Pac Entertainment Worldwide for $120 million, and I guess the first payment of $30 million for this whole fight shit was due on March 25th. And as of this article, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was 6 hours ago, it is saying, 5/14/2021 at 3:30 Pacific time.
Yeah.
They still haven't received it.
That's crazy. But did you see? Speaking of that's crazy. Did you see what happened today when the White Sox were playing the Royals? And Jose Abreu collided with the batter from the Royals when there's a pop-up right there by home plate?
Yeah, I actually just watched the video not that long ago. But after watching it, I don't see why Abreu was charging as hard as he was. And obviously, I wasn't on the field. I'm not a professional player, but
a lot of
from
factors.
watching, from my point of view, and hindsight's 2020, just all these disclaimers. I don't want anybody
allegedly.
I don't see why he charged so hard. And I'm not saying it's his fault the collision happened.
Yeah.
The batter went around the catcher and he was looking down. It was just a bunch of
that's what it looked like
bang,
from our
bang,
point of view,
bang stuff happened. But I'm just saying, from what I saw, the ball was a foul ball.
Was it foul?
Yeah, it was foul.
Do you think it would have landed foul? Because I watched the video too, and it was like right. Either way, it was a pop up about what to the right of the plate if you're from the catcher's position.
Yeah, it was to the right,
about a yard or two away from home plate.
Yeah, it was up first baseline.
Yeah,
but it was foul, probably 2 to 3 feet.
Damn, I didn't see it that way, but all right.
Because and so catcher goes up, and the pitcher's backing up. Mm-hmm. So even if ball hits ground, and it's spinning in the way that it goes fair,
or bounces off the catcher who's trying to catch it.
The pitcher was there to back up. There was a guy on first who was a lead or two off. Like, he wasn't going to second at any means. So if the ball would have bounced and then went fair, because for those of you who don't know, a ball can go foul so long as it turns fair, like if it's rolling, before it gets to the bag.
Yep.
So
that's why defenders need to, if it's going foul, they can
touch it before it
comes in, or if they think it's an easy out, hopefully they let it roll fair.
Let it roll.
Yeah. Sorry, just for context.
So if it wouldn't say the catcher would have missed it because he wasn't in position, and it hit and then skipped in, it's a playable ball. So the pitcher was backing up, and he could have easily grabbed it and thrown the guy out at second because the guy wasn't even leading.
Or first, but Jose Abreu should have stayed on the bag, but ran all the way to where the catcher was, within a yard of him.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So the pitcher usually backs up first base if there's a line drive or he's going for a foul ball. So the pitcher's backing up the catcher. Abreu should have stayed by first just in case a bang bang play happens and he can receive the catch for the out. So that I didn't even think about that until you just were explaining that. So Abreu shouldn't have been. He was in the wrong position completely.
Yeah, like in my opinion, I think Abreu was out of position.
Absolutely.
It was an accident.
Yeah, 100%. But tell them what happened, because we didn't get to that part.
And, they collided into each other. And
pretty hard.
Hard. If you go look it up. Abreu versus Dozier, however you want to...
Who was the batter?
Who was the batter for the Royals. First. They collided. Abreu had a facial laceration and left the game. His concussion tests are negative. And then Dozier is having neck pain, and he had a quad injury in his leg.
Damn. Yeah, because Abreu was looking up for the pop fly, straight up in the air. For some reason, when Dozier, he ran because the catcher was on the fair foul line, the first base line.
Yeah.
So he kind of went around him. When he did it, in my opinion, looked like he kind of looked down towards the grass, and one looking up, one looking down, smack, like a head-on collision.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty hard.
They both were going as hard as they could.
And baseball players aren't as tough as football players. Just saying. I love baseball, but But that shit's crazy, and best of luck to both of them on recovering from this. Hopefully, they don't miss a lot of time besides today, and they can get back to it. But so Big, I think that's our time for tonight. I don't know. Is there anything else you think is noteworthy to discuss?
No, I think we hit everything we wanted to hit tonight. Episode 3 went well.
I agree. So until next time, which will be next week, and barring any catastrophic events, we appreciate all the support that we've had so far, and we hope you guys are enjoying what we talk about. Please leave comments on the platforms that have that option. Let us know what you want to hear about, or what could be better, because we take everything into consideration. And until next week, we appreciate everything. This is the Big and Blizz podcast, signing out. Peace.